Hey guys, I've recently been looking into the madness that is our bouncers and kinda come to the conclusion that it's not as maddening as they should be. So, to give some explanation on how you can easily use our bouncers here. So here I have a list full with heights for our bouncers. Here is a list with jump, and here we have walk and crouch. Has two more lists, I'm gonna go over them later. If you just want a simple over bounce, nothing special, these are the lists you would use. You can use these values with green, it's just I have tested them. White, I'm 100% sure every one of those will work. This yellow is positive values, and all these yellow will work. This one with red will not work if you just going for a simple standard hour bounce. And what I mean is, if I here go into the show, here I have this height difference. It's a height difference of 44. If I jump from this platform and land on this platform, an hour bounce will trigger, as you can see from this. Which is simple, I mean, unless you just don't have done an hour bounce before and try to land on a platform, and don't try to do an hour bounce after. That is the situation where simple hour bounce would work, as I talked about. If you want to chain a multiple hour bounce, I want to hour bounce when I land to that platform. This has actually the same height difference as that platform there, so it's another 44. Get an hour bounce here. I would need to do something different because this would actually not work. I would get, if I jump from that platform to that platform, I would get hour bounce there. If I try to jump and get down here, it's the same height difference, I will not get an hour bounce on this platform. And so to give an explanation that, we need to look at its offset numbers. So in the first case, if you just want one hour bounce, nothing special, ignore this offset value. That means absolutely nothing to you. But if you want to chain them, this is when this number becomes interesting. So again, to go up, I don't know if offset is the best standard value to call for it, but if you just spawn out or jump on this platform and land on it, or actually in case anytime when you land on a platform and you do not trigger an hour bounce when you land on that platform, you will get your offset value set to 0. Then whenever you land on a platform, so if I jump down there and land on this platform which has height difference, so I will add the offset value of this, so I will get this offset value added to me. And after it has added this value, I will check what offset value am I in. Am I in the range of this up to this, so 0.001 up to 0.250. If I'm within this range, after this offset has been added, the hour bounce will trigger. If I'm not, the hour bounce will not come out, and now my offset value will be reset to 0. So in this case, to show here, this one would set that offset value here when I land that. This has the same height difference, 44, so it add the same offset value when I try to land on that, but since this would be the high value, I will not get an hour bounce there. And so you bet there's a way to go around it, but the first one, simple one to do, is just look at this as I marked in an orange color here. You can see these have very low offset values, meaning you can chain a bunch of them. It's the offset value of 0.50, means you can chain 5 of those platforms in a row with hour bounces. And there's some, there's one 0.001 value even somewhere in this list here. This can be chained 250 times. So, yeah. But there's ways around that how you can use this for an hour bounce as well. As I can show, if I move this up to the correct position, it should be it, which is this with 0.35. This full jump will trigger hour bounce when I want. This is 0.44, then 0.35. That would trigger an hour bounce. That would trigger an hour bounce. That would do. Something odd happened. Yeah, okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. And to get that, you can look at, there's walk crouch out. This negative offset. So here I have this list. These have offset value with negative values instead. So, as you may think, if you calculate this with add values, this one removes offset values. So you can use to chain this around. These values would never, and heights would never trigger a bounce from a 0 standpoint because it would go into negative values. But if you already have an hour bounce triggered, you can use these values here with jump and with walk off to trigger hour bounces. So I have some example of calculation. Here we have the jump I have in question. So this height different, add this offset value, then I was minus 35 height. So I would remove that much and I would get this offset value currently on my the player. Then I have another with adds offset. So this height difference, which here 187. So this would then add this, and it would keep him within the window to bounce. The remove. As you can see, if you reasons I can see if it goes over, it would fail, for example. So that's a simple way how we can just do our advances. One thing is, here I want to go is these marked in yellow and red. These are all values with a positive height difference. That means the platform, this platform is actually located above. So if I place this 4 units above, this would go into this and trigger another ones. But the funny thing here, or the weird thing, is there's 2 plus 4. This list is not something I made, or I just cleaned it up and made it easier a bit, thanks to Albans for making a script that made it even easier to do that job. But here you can see it's a different offset values, and I don't know which one it uses, so it's a bit tricky. And the one, so I don't know how to calculate with this properly. But the one with red, these don't have a duplicate in this list, because their duplicates is in the negative one instead. So the 2 has 1 which is negative and 1 which is positive, and it seems if you're at offset 0, so standard jump on this, it would use this one here. There may be situations where it uses this instead, I don't know that, so therefore I keep this. I haven't checked which one of these should be marked in red. Some of these probably should be. Yeah. And finally, one thing that's a bit interesting also is negative offset on 0 height. So no height difference can trigger an overbounce if your offset is too high. It's a small overbounce, but yeah, you get one. Yeah, that's about it. This jump is quite basic. We could do a quick compile of this and just show this off before we end. So first, I'll move this. That's not what I intended to compare with. Let's recompile. So 44 height difference, then we have 35 height difference, then we have a height difference of 187, and we end off with a height difference of 566, which in this example lists you can see how it is. So if I go in game, this way to show off our bounces is if you don't move your mouse, your max speed when sprinting is 340 and your max speed without sprinting is 220. So you can just do a very simple check of not moving your mouse and just walk forward to show our bounces. So if I jump off here, trigger an overbounce, you can see my speed in the, since I default client, the speed is just in the lower right corner instead of the center view. But yeah, you can see if I just walk off, doesn't trigger an overbounce. Jumping boost speed. So if I do an extra jump, this one won't work because this is a negative offset, and since I did a normal jump, my offset value would be too low. Yeah, that's it for this. It's quite simple to use actually, so hope you can use this to easily make some overbounce jumps.